victory over Parma a year earlier. The Gunners had reached the semi-final stage yet again following victories over Brøndby and Auxerre, and went into the first leg at Highbury confident that they could reach the final in Paris. Their opponents, Sampdoria, were missing their suspended Englishman David Platt, who, as fate would have it, was to become an Arsenal player that summer. And under the guidance of Sven-Göran Eriksson, the Italian side were hopeful of putting a serious dent in their hosts' ambitions.
Arsenal, the European Cup winners, cup holders, having beaten Italian side Parma 1-0 in last season's final in Copenhagen, welcome Sampdoria from Genoa to Highbury this evening for the semi-final first leg. The atmosphere is absolutely electric at Highbury. So much expectation resting on the shoulders of the Gunners players. A lovely gesture from the Sampdoria players coming onto the pitch with the Union Jack. 1-0 to the Arsenal, which has become the theme tune. Can be heard very loudly around Highbury. Just listen to that atmosphere. It all started for the Gunners with a first round win over Ammonia Nicosia. In the second round, Arsenal beat Brøndby, and then in the quarter-finals, Auxerre, to reach the last four of the competition. Arsenal playing tonight in their usual colours of red and white, Sampdoria in all blue. Arsenal make just the one change from the quarter-final victory in Auxerre. David Hillier comes in for Martin Keown. Once again, Ian Wright and John Hartson lead the line for the Gunners, with the famous four of Lee Dixon, Tony Adams, Steve Bold and Nigel Winterburn making up Arsenal's normally rock-solid defence. Sampdoria won the Cup Winners' Cup in 1990, having been runners-up the year before. The Italian side have a wealth of experience in their ranks, with Attilio Lombardo, Walter Zenga and Roberto Mancini all starting tonight. Yugoslavian Vladimir Jugovic is a real threat from midfield, but Englishman David Platt is suspended. Sampdoria's coach is Sven-Göran Eriksson, and he is highly regarded in the European game. The officials tonight are all from Holland. The referee is Mr. J. Ulenberg. Van Dijk and Tallens are the linesmen. David Seaman looking so focused ahead of kickoff. His opposite number tonight is the hugely experienced Walter Zenga. He really is a goalkeeping legend in Italy. This is bound to be an absolute cracker. Everybody in the crowd is fired up for it, as indeed are all the players. Next month's final is at the Parc des Princes in Paris. Arsenal have to get past Sampdoria to reach that showpiece final. Ian Wright is the leading goal scorer in this competition for the Gunners, with 7 goals to his name already. The captain of Sampdoria is Roberto Mancini, and it will be Arsenal to get this semi-final first leg underway. Listen to the atmosphere as Dixon plays the long ball forward. Quite a few Sampdoria fans have also made the trip over to North London as Sven-Göran Eriksson watches on from the dugout. Good header by Parla. This is Stefan Schwarz. Lombardo. Mancini on the ball. He's got Serena to his left if he needs him. This is Jugovic. Good ball looking for Lombardo. Attilio Lombardo for Sampdoria. Good save by David Seaman. Well, what a start to this match. Attilio Lombardo with a great opportunity to open the scoring for the visitors. David Seaman thwarting him. Ivani now for Sampdoria. Jugovic. Mancini came off Swatch, and the shot is only just wide from Ivani. Alberigo Ivani going very close to Sven-Göran Eriksson's side. Sampdoria have started so brightly. First of all, it was Lombardo who tested Seaman, and then Ivani just wide. The Gunners have beaten Cypriot, Danish and French opposition to reach the last four, and they have a throw now in a good position, which is taken by Lee Dixon. Nice touch by Hartson. Merson just about keeps the ball in play, and it will be an Arsenal corner. It came off Marco Rossi. Oh, Sampdoria have started this game very brightly, but they're on the back foot at the moment. What can Arsenal conjure up from this set piece? Steve Bold is up from defence. The Swede, Stefan Schwarz, will take the corner. It's an in-swinger, left-footed, headed away by Lombardo. Dixon then winning the header. Cleared by Lombardo. David Hidia racing back to help out the defence. And a calm ball back to David Seaman. No goals as yet at Highbury, but a very entertaining start to the game. Jugovic. Sacchetti. Can't keep it in play. Here we see the chance for Lombardo very early on. A vital stop by David Seaman. Stefan Schwarz getting the better of Ivanitsi. Here's Dixon now in space. It's a good ball in, headed away by Rossi. Comes out to right, the shot's on target, but a comfortable save in the end for Walter Zenga. Lee Dixon crossing the ball with his left foot. The header was from Marco Rossi, and it fell to Ian Wright, whose shot was on target. Arsenal have already faced Italian opposition at Highbury this year. The Gunners drew 0-0 with AC Milan on the 1st of February before losing 2-0 at the San Siro 2 weeks later in the European Super Cup. The Gunners have a free kick now in an excellent position. Walter Zenga giving directions to the Sampdoria wall. It's around about 25 yards out, the free kick. It's taken by Stefan Schwarz. It hits the Sampdoria wall. Hillier and Schwarz having words, but it has led to another Arsenal corner. Once more, Steve Bold is up from defence, as is the Arsenal skipper, Tony Adams. Ivani on the near post. Oh, that's a mistake by Zenga, and Arsenal have opened the scoring. Well, it's been disallowed. Tony Adams with the final touch, but the referee feels that there was an infringement on the keeper Zenga. A lovely corner. Bold with the flick on. And then Adams getting there just ahead of Ian Wright and Walter Zenga. but the goal has controversially been ruled out by the referee. Arsenal thought they were in front, but it remains 0-0. Adams, great tenacity from the captain. And he's won Arsenal a free kick as well. Ian Wright was challenging with Zenga, and I think it's his challenge that the Dutch referee didn't like, and that is why Tony Adams' goal was disallowed. That is bound to be a talking point after the game. Here's Merson. Couldn't get the better of Sacchetti. Ivani with the clearance, plenty of height on it, but not much distance. Parler's header to Svarch. Good skill by the Swede. Here's Parler. Ray Parler with a shot, only just wide in the end. There wasn't much power behind it, but after a slightly shaky start, Arsenal are starting to dominate the game now. Good header by Bold. Then Parler. Merson. This is Winterburn. Parler. Weighing up his options. He finds Lee Dixon. Ian Wright. Dispossessed by Serena. Mancini plays it back to Rossi. Winterburn's header to Bolt, who in turn plays it back to Seaman. Hartson calling for the ball. It has been a difficult season for the Gunners, with Paul Merson's heart-searching, the George Graham revelations and dismissal, and in different league form. But Arsenal are only 2 games away from the final of the European Cup Winners' Cup. Hartson was fouled there by Marco Rossi. Sassano. Wins the free kick for the visitors. Mancini can't get to that. The North Bank is absolutely rocking. Just over 12 minutes of the first half left to play in this European Cup Winners' Cup semi-final first leg. Sampdoria won the Scudetto for the first time in '91. And they started this game very brightly. Lombardo forcing a save out of Seaman, and then Ivani with a shot fractionally wide. Since then, though, Arsenal have taken control. Sacchetti. Lombardo. Salsano. Jugovic. Mancini, and the flag is up. A patient build-up by the Italian side, but it resulted in nothing. Here's Hillier, Winterburn, Hartson, strong challenge by Invernizzi, Parler, Svarch. This is Wright. It's a good pass to Dixon. He comes forward again. What a shot from Lee Dixon, and a brilliant save as well by the veteran keeper Walter Zenga. That would have been some goal from Lee Dixon. He hit the ball so sweetly from 20 yards out. That was heading for the top corner. Stefan Slac with the corner. In off Jugovic. Parla. Navani with the clearance. Come down to Hillier. Only parried by the keeper. And Steve Bold gets his first goal of the season to give Arsenal the lead. 10 minutes before the interval, Arsenal are in front. David Hillier's volley was only parried by Zenga, and Steve Bold was the quickest to react to find the back of the net and give Arsenal the lead. 35 minutes on the clock at Highbury, and it's Arsenal 1, Sampdoria 0. An unlikely goal scorer, Steve Bold. And just when you thought the atmosphere inside Highbury couldn't get any louder, well, it just has. Parla. Dixon. Mercer trying to get the better there of Manini, and he wins another corner for the Gunners. The famous ditty 1-0 to the Arsenal emanates around the grounds. Steve Bold, the goal scorer, is once again in the Sampdoria penalty area. Another dangerous delivery from Stefan Slac, and it's led to yet again another corner. Bold with a flick on, it's in! Steve Bold, second of the game! Can you believe it? Arsenal have doubled their lead, and Steve Bold has doubled his goal tally for the season. Arsenal 2, Sampdoria 0, and Steve Bold with both of the goals for the Gunners. It was a flick on from the centre-back, and you have to say, a real mix-up at the back for Sampdoria. Lombardo and Zenga seem to get in each other's way. Steve Bold has scored both of Arsenal's goals, one with his foot and one with his head. And after an excellent start, Sampdoria now find themselves 2 down at Highbury. Steve Bold is the hero of the night for the Gunners. Stuart Houston must be absolutely delighted. George Graham was sacked on the 21st of February, with Stuart Houston taking over, and under Houston, Arsenal have won 4, drawn 1 and lost 4. They lead Sampdoria by 2 goals to 0 tonight. Adams. Dixon. Mercer. Did well to keep the ball in play. Parla. Sassano is having to help out in defence. Sampdoria really do have their backs to the wall. I'm sure Sven-Göran Eriksson, their coach, will have some interesting words to say to his players in the dressing room at half-time. David Hillier. Parla. Gets another corner for Arsenal. think it's Marco Rossi down for the visitors. He's getting back on his feet now. Sampdoria have to be wary of that man, Steve Bold. He's already scored 2 goals in this first half. Dixon's throw. Parler. Well, that could have been a dangerous ball in, but Ian Wright didn't really attack the cross. Good distance on the kick from Zenga. A commanding header from Adams. Svarch. Now Winterburn. Back to the Swede. Here's Dixon. Hartson. Dispossessed by Salsano. Lombardo, brilliant tackle from Adams. Parler to Hartson. Excellent one-touch football from Arsenal. Dixon. Jugovic. A characteristic challenge from the ever-reliable captain, Tony Adams. Salsano with the throw. Lombardo back to Salsano. That's very comfortable for David Seaman. Sven-Göran Eriksson, the coach of Sampdoria, is absolutely livid. Stuart Houston telling his players to calm it down. The header was won by Rossi. Merson getting the better of Ivani. Winterburn on the overlap. Surely that came off Marco Rossi. Well, the Arsenal players and fans thought so. But the Dutch referee has awarded a goal kick to Sampdoria. Rossi's header. Then Bolt. Sampdoria lost the European Cup final 1-0 to Barcelona at Wembley 3 years ago, and they trail 2-0 in this European Cup Winners' Cup semi-final first leg. They do have a free kick now, though, in a good position. Mancini. Salsano. Ivani. Oh, fantastic control by Mancini. And then he was obstructed by Steve Bold. Bold feels that Mancini was looking for the foul. Let's have a look at the replay. Well, it does look as if Mancini walked straight into Bold, but nevertheless, Sampdoria have a free kick in a very dangerous position. Arsenal have to keep their concentration. Plenty of players in blue behind the ball. Ivani and Jugovic are the most likely to take this set piece. It's Jugovic, and it's over into the North Bank. Vladimir Jugovic couldn't get that free kick on target. Well, it actually might have taken a deflection off David Hillier. The goal kick has been awarded to Arsenal, though. Clearance that time was from Invenizzi, and he wins the tackle as well. What a scoreline at Highbury. Arsenal 2, Sampdoria 0. We're just moments away from the half-time interval as well. Ian Wright tracking back. The Gunners have come into this game on the back of thrashing Norwich 5-1 in the league on Saturday, and it seems to have worked wonders for the confidence. There goes the half-time whistle. Arsenal lead Sampdoria by 2-0. Both scored by Steve Bold in the space of just 2 first-half minutes. What a dream first half. At the break at Highbury, it's Arsenal 2, Sampdoria 0. What a first half at Highbury. Arsenal leading Sampdoria by 2-0. Both of them scored by an unlikely source, Steve Bold, who hadn't been on the score sheet for the Gunners at all this season before tonight. But like the bus analogy, he got 2 in 2 first half minutes. And Sampdoria have it all to do now. Mancini with the cross and an excellent clearance from Lee Dixon, who's been superb tonight. Ian Wright tracking back again. Dixon and Wright showing fantastic determination. Rossi. Sacchetti. Looking for Mancini. Well, Nigel Winterburn has been penalised. It looked like a fair challenge from the Arsenal left-back. The referee didn't think so. Alberigo Ivani behind the ball for Sampdoria. Merson and Svarch make up the two-man wall. Frustration etched on the face of Attilio Lombardo, who was at the far post. Dixon and Adams share a joke. It's going so well for the Gunners tonight. Arsenal are aiming for a second straight Cup Winners' Cup triumph. The other semi-final is between Chelsea and Spanish side Real Zaragoza. Rossi. He can't keep the ball in play. It's been a disappointing night so far for Sampdoria, and a fabulous one for Arsenal. Hartson's head. Hartson to Ian Wright. Wright to Merson. Here's Dixon. He's spent much of the game going forward so far, looking for John Hartson. Just too much pace on the ball. Arsenal beat Ammonia Nicosia 6-1 on aggregate in the first round. In the second round, they defeated Danish side Brøndby by 4-3, and then overcame Auxerre 2-1 on aggregate in the quarterfinals. They still lead Sampdoria 2-0 at Highbury. Dixon plays the 1-2 with Hillier. It's a free kick for Sampdoria. Mancini, one of the targets for Rossi to aim for. It's not the best of free kicks. Now the visitors have a throw. They're attacking the clock ends in the second half. Ivani. Sassana. Mancini with the final touch. But Adams did just enough to put him under pressure. Appeals for offside by the Arsenal back four. Manini. He's on the ball again. Mancini. Invernizzi. Winterburn with the throw for Arsenal. This is a good spell for the Gunners. Alan Smith scored the winner for Arsenal in last season's Cup Winners' Cup final. Finished 1-0 against Parma in Copenhagen, and Arsenal have 1 foot in this season's final. Merson can't keep his shot down, but worth a try. Stuart Houston must be absolutely delighted with his team. They have showed so much determination and resilience tonight. The flag is up, and the free kick's taken quickly by Sampdoria. Invernizzi. Nice touch by Jugovic. Mancini. Lombardo. Back to Mancini. Oh, it's not cleared, and it's a simple tap-in for Vladimir Jugovic. Sampdoria are back in the game. An easy goal for the Yugoslav. It was made by the Sampdoria skipper, Roberto Mancini. A lovely through ball. Adams with a less than convincing clearance. He miskicked the ball, and Jugovic took full advantage. Stefan Svac for Arsenal. Paolo. This is Dixon. Merson, good control. Trying to get past Ivani. Still going, Paul Merson! Did Zenga get a touch on that? Fabulous play by the Arsenal number 10. He was skipping through the Sampdoria defence. The shot flashed just wide in the end, and I don't think Zenga got a touch. Rossi. Invernizzi. Lombardo. Wins the header, but the flag was up. Sven-Göran Eriksson took charge of Sampdoria in '92. He obviously gave his players some stern words in the dressing room at half-time. They've got to go back in this second period. Hartson. Cleared by Sampdoria. Bold, scorer of both of Arsenal's goals this evening. Hartson can't control it. Ivani to Mancini. Salsano. Jugovic. Salsano again. Now Mancini. Jugovic, the Sampdoria goal scorer. Salsano. Well, Arsenal need to get the ball away. Bold did. This is Michele Serena. Hillier. Winterburn. Hartson. Salsano. Mancini. Hartson for Arsenal. Winterburn with the clearance. Rossi. Jugovic. Lombardo. Sacchetti. Can't keep the ball in play. The European Cup Winners' Cup was launched in 1960. Arsenal, the victors last year. Can they do it again in 1995? Salsano. This is Mancini. Roberto Mancini trying to slip the ball through. But the other Sampdoria players weren't on the same wavelength as their captain. .24 minutes left to play at Highbury. Arsenal 2, Sampdoria 1 the scoreline. Parlour. Right, stretching, but he can't quite keep the ball in play. Hillier. Ivani for Sampdoria. Jugovic. Salsano. Mancini. Salsano. Jugovic. Merson with the challenge. Winterburn under pressure from Jugovic. Does well. Gets a throw for Arsenal. Steve Bold with both of the Gunners' goals tonight. Sampdoria getting one back through Vladimir Jugovic. It looks a bit tenser, the Arsenal bench though, since Jugovic pulled a goal back for the visitors. Winterburn with the throw. Hartson with a flick on. Right. Merson. Not cleared by Sampdoria. Parlour with the challenge. Svarch. Took a deflection. Sacchetti trying to head the ball away. Poor defending from Sampdoria. Merson. Now Dixon. Great ball in. The header's not on target though. A good move, nevertheless, by Arsenal. Dixon with a fabulous ball in. Ray Parlour couldn't quite direct his header on target. Sampdoria looking dangerous now. What a tackle from Tony Adams. Inspirational. Merson, that's a fabulous ball. Ian Wright, he finds the back of the net, and Arsenal have restored their two-goal cushion. A lovely ball from Paul Merson. And Ian Wright with a fantastic finish. His 8th goal in the competition this season makes it Arsenal 3, Sampdoria 1. What a ball from Paul Merson. Ian Wright got free of Marco Rossi and gave the on-rushing Walter Zenga no chance. 68 minutes played at Highbury, and Arsenal have their 3rd goal. This will surely go down as one of the most memorable European nights at Highbury. Ian Wright with 8 goals in this season's European Cup Winners' Cup. What a record. He's got another chance now. Here we see the goal once more, brilliantly taken. Ian Wright is such an instinctive striker. Sampdoria, once again, are facing an uphill battle. They did get a goal back through Vladimir Jugovic, but Ian Wright's goal has restored Arsenal's 2-goal cushion. Sven-Göran Eriksson looks agitated again. Listen to the Arsenal fans. They are really enjoying the occasion. Now Eriksson is preparing to make a change. Ricardo Maspero will be coming on. We'll have to wait a moment or two though. In the meantime, this is Sacchetti. Well intercepted by Sparks. Hillier. Winterburn now. Right. Hillier. Oh, that's a poor pass. He's giving it away to Lombardo. Attilio Lombardo for Sampdoria. Good defending, Nigel Winterburn. It was a mistake by David Hillier. And Winterburn recovered. Sampdoria do have a corner. Alberigo Avani with it. It will be an in-swinger, left-footed, headed away by Adams. And the header's won by Serena. Jugovic tussling there with Parla. And now the visitors can make the change. And it will be Giovanni Invonizzi who makes way for Ricardo Maspero. Arsenal have yet to make any changes themselves. Bold. Winterburn. Now Winterburn still down injured. This doesn't look good from Arsenal's point of view. He's clutching his right shin. He seemed to get injured during that challenge with Michele Serena. But he's trying to get back up, Winterburn, but he is hobbling. And this is not a good sign. The stretcher is on. Let's hope this isn't too serious. Nigel Winterburn is having to be stretchered off the pitch. He gets a big round of applause from the Highbury faithful. Arsenal temporarily down to 10 men, whilst Nigel Winterburn receives some treatment on the sidelines. Ian Wright, scorer of the Gunners' third tonight. Dixon with the throw. Wright. Back to Dixon. This is Parla. It's a really good ball in, and Paul Mercer's header is on target. Saved by Walter Zenga. A great ball in from Ray Parla. Paul Mercer looking for his third goal in the Cup Winners' Cup this season. Mancini. Oh, that's brilliant! And Jugovic has scored again. His second of the night. Arsenal appealing for offside, but the goal will count. Vladimir Jugovic has scored both of Sampdoria's goals this evening. It was made, though, by the captain, Roberto Mancini. A sublime back heel to release Jugovic. And Serena was offside, but he wasn't interfering with play, and that is why this goal stands. Arsenal now preparing a double substitution. Ian Wright, scorer of Arsenal's third tonight, is making way, and he'll be replaced by Chris Kiwomya. The other change is Steve Morrow on for Paul Merson. Six members of Arsenal's starting 11 tonight starred in last year's Cup Winners' Cup final success over Parma. They raced into a 2-goal lead at half-time. Jugovic got a goal back before Ian Wright made it 3-1. Jugovic scored again to set up a tense finale. Lombardo goes down under pressure from Bold. He's played really well tonight. Attilio Lombardo. No foul by Steve Bold. Sampdoria won this competition 5 years ago, beating Belgian side Anderlecht 2-0 in Gothenburg, having lost to Barcelona in the final the year before. Eriksson knows that his side have a lot to do, but they have a chance now, courtesy of Jugovic's double. Arsenal were beaten on penalties by Valencia in this competition in 1980. They are the current holders, and they lead Sampdoria by 3-2 as we reach the latter stages of this semi-final first leg. Ian Wright made way for Chris Kiwomya, and Kiwomya wins the header. It's cleared by Ivani. Hillier, then Morrow. That's a foul, surely, by Stefano Sacchetti on John Hartson. And the Dutch referee has awarded Arsenal a free kick in a really good position. Zenga organises his wall. It's taken by Winterburn. Bold. Hartson was in there. Jugovic got there just ahead of him. Handball and another free kick for Arsenal. The handball this time against Serena. It's right on the edge of the D, the free kick. What a time to score a fourth goal. The Swede, Stefan Smarch, looks likely to take the free kick. Indeed he does, and it's parried by Zenga. A fierce drive from the Arsenal midfielder. Hillier. Wins the corner for Arsenal. The Gunners are ending the game on a high. Ball battling with Rossi and penalised. Here's the free kick. Brilliantly struck. And a superb reaction save as well from Walter Zenga. There goes the final whistle. A classic night of European football at Highbury. Steve Bold giving Arsenal a 2-0 half-time lead. Vladimir Jugovic getting a goal back for Sampdoria. Ian Wright making it 3-1 to Arsenal. And then Jugovic scoring a second to make the final score 3-2 to Arsenal. It will be a tense second leg in Genoa. The final score at Highbury, Arsenal 3, Sampdoria 2.